pitch on the way. It's down and away, and off we go. Texas native Isa Torres. Tripled and a double in her first 2 at-bats yesterday. Hits a slow roller to short. That's quickly gobbled up by Rivera, who throws out her counterpart to start the game. That's a win when you can get soft contact from Isa Torres.
Oh, what a great start for South Florida. She's the leading hitter in the nation. No one has more hits than Isa Torres. They keep her off the bases early.
Here's up center fielder Janai Kerr. All ACC first team this year in her redshirt senior season. Banged out against Robert Morris yesterday. And tied at the infield corners as Long gets one past Kerr.
A big swing from Kerr with that pitch down in the zone. And Long in South Florida have a tall task today. This Florida State offense has been prolific this season. In the top 10 in almost every offensive category. They can score in so many different ways. Janai Kerr, a big part of that. She's really a triple threat, can bunt, slap, hit home runs.
A wave and a miss, so that's going to take it to a 3-2 count on Kerr.
Now really pulling her head off of her swing, and she's not really seeing the ball. Haven't seen that much from Kerr all season long. Just maybe a little bit of a little amped up today in front of the home crowd.
He's going to get out of play over towards the bullpen and into the bullpen. And Long came on in relief in the first inning. Their game against Auburn yesterday for Peyton Dixon, and threw 4 innings, 4 scoreless innings of relief. Only allowed 3 hits through 57 pitches. A 3-2 pitch, a little inside for ball 4. And Kerr able to work a 1-out walk and bring us the game's first base run.
Boy, that did not miss by much, Mark, from our angle. Maybe a little bit down, but that shows you Florida State, they not only can hit the ball so well up and down the lineup, the amount of walks they draw, always more than the amount of strikeouts they have in a season. Impressive.
Katie Dack takes down low. One for 2 yesterday with a double against Robert Morris. Had a sac fly for an RBI. There's a strike. Lyndon Baptiste, by the way, our plate umpire. This 4-person umpiring crew. 1-1 pitch from Ann Long. Bring it up there, upper 60s, Long. From the Orlando area in Sanford, Florida. Chop right side. There's the
reason it's called the money game is the winner of this game gets to rest, take a shower, get some food, get in the shade, and they get to watch the other teams battle it out. And all you have to do is win one more game to go to Super Regionals tomorrow.
And he pours in a strike to Olivia Elliott, leading off for USF.
And conversely, the team who doesn't come out on top in this game, they've got to wait around, they've got to re-warm up, they've got to come back tonight, earn a victory tonight, and then beat the same team twice tomorrow.
Torres in the right spot, had her played perfectly, and throws out Elliott. One gone in the USF first inning.
Now batting number 4, Alexa.
As I mentioned, this is the 55th all-time meeting between these schools. FSU 41-13 all-time against the Bulls. they know each other well. Alexa Galligani takes strike one. Bulls with the win yesterday in extra innings. This is her 44th win of the season. Back to the circle. Danley with the underhand toss to Bueno, and that's two quick outs.
And that's a good sign for Ashton Danley to have two ground ball outs. She really has a 3-to-1 ground ball out to fly ball out ratio. And even though you know it's coming, it's got such good break on it, tumble on the ball. She commands both sides of the plate. It's a good start for Ashton Danley.
Here is sophomore Alex Wilkes. He was a tough out yesterday for Auburn. And 3 hits, went officially 3 for 3 with a run scored. Also had a couple of sacrifice bunts. Did everything asked of her in the win against the SEC team. Now they get an ACC foe today. A team that won the regular season in the ACC. Great crowd. Joanne Grant Field is first game of the day. Bounce to third. Beecham cuts that off. 3 ground ball outs. Par for the course for Ashton Danley. They go in order. We'll head to the second in Tallahassee. Kayla leads off. Top of the second. The Seminoles yesterday taking a quick lead on Robert Morris. Edenfield came up twice, walked twice. It was officially 0 for 0. It came out of the game fairly early in that one. FSU having it in hand.
Yeah, we got to see it. Got to see almost the whole team yesterday for Florida State. 2 different pitchers and a lot of different players playing defense as well as having opportunities at the plate.
Right on the inside corner from Long, and goes it to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Anytime you can get your catcher off her feet in this heat, that's a good thing.
As you're hoping to play a lot of games here in the postseason.
Off-speed pitch. First pitch right in on the inside corner to Hallie Waycaser. Double yesterday in the win over Robert Morris, knocked in a run. I'll tell you what, it's early. Carol Benan Long right now changing speeds, moving the ball around. Impressive.
And throwing that off speed on different counts, so you can't sit up there and just hunt one pitch. You can't hunt the fast pitch. You can't hunt the off speed pitch. It's really a really good job of sequencing those pitches together. She's a lot like Danley in that her strength is down in the zone, but she does have more velo than Danley for Florida State. And right now, I think the thing I'm the most impressed with Long is, even though she's a freshman, she has great command. She is showing no nerves, really hitting her corners.
Second straight pitch right near that inside corner, completely tying up Waycaser. You could do nothing but foul it off again and hope to see another pitch.
Well, these power hitters in the middle of the Florida State lineup, they'll tell you that you can't do a lot with a pitch that's going, starts at the knees, goes to your toes, and is breaking in and down.
And she gets Waycaser looking. Back-to-back strikeouts, both called strike threes.
As well.
It's in a strike on the outside corner to Beecham. Nice start to the postseason. The NCAA regionals for Beecham. 2 for 2, knocked in 3 yesterday. may be playable right in foul territory, and a collision, and the ball comes out. For a moment, it looked like it was in the glove of Ortiz Martinez. Pitch, 2-2. Let's see what Long brings. 2-2 to Jason Beecham. And hitter went off speed in, and one of the few times was a little bit off the mark, and a hit by pitch extends the inning for FSU.
Yeah, that one got away from Long a little bit, released it too soon. Like she even hit her hip a little bit on that pitch. Really the first one that's gotten away from her today.
And it gives Amaya Ross a 2-out chance with a runner aboard. Jumps on the first pitch and whacks it deep to center field. It's gone. Two-run home run, 4th of the year for Amaya Ross. Has one here 3 years later. Has given the Noles a 2-0 lead. I'll tell you what, Ann Long was cruising along as we saw the curtain call there for Ross. And was looking to strike out the side. And then one pitch off the mark, ball 4, and the very next pitch leaves the yard. That just shows you how quickly the Seminoles offense strikes.
And believing in their plan and able to make adjustments. They were looking, Amaya Ross looking something hard with some velo down in the zone early on the inner half of the plate. Long happened to miss it a little over the middle of the plate. And we saw the result.
Two outs. Here's first baseman Angeli Bueno. USF found themselves in a 5-0 hole after an inning yesterday against Auburn. Were able to come back.
Well, and here's the thing about Florida State, Mark, going back to their offense. I mean, Amaya Ross didn't even start the game yesterday. You know, they have such a deep roster. She came in and played first base and hit in the lineup, but this is such a deep team. It's really tough to plan for a team like Florida State because every day the lineup is a little bit different. Move people in and out on defense, and when your number is called, you have an opportunity at Florida State. Amaya Ross making the most of her start today.
Her 4th of the year. It's 7th home run that Long has allowed on the season, and almost 72 innings pitched. Got it in on the hands, and that's hit out in the air to right center field. The center fielder wants that taken by Galligani, but 2-out Lightning. After Foreman hit the second 2-run home run yesterday, from that point forward, Auburn wanted nothing to do with Foreman in the batter's box from that point forward.
Wise decision by Auburn. I think what I was the most impressed with Foreman, she hit one off a rise ball and one off an off-speed pitch.
Rode in on her hands there, fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Those were her 11th and 12th homers of the year. 12 home runs leads USF. A little bit upstairs, but hit the out, let's say the high corner there for Lyndon Baptiste. Three ground ball outs for Danley in the first inning. Four, 5, and 6 hitters here for the Bulls. Ashton Danley's 2-2 pitch. Foreman read that right out of the hand. She said, right away. She is seeing the ball well.
And you understand why Danley's pitching around her a little bit. Typically not a pitcher that gives up a lot of walks. This whole Florida State staff does not give up a lot of walks.
She misses down low, ball 4. Just as you were mentioning that, Carol, you could tell, especially the first pitch, she kind of bounced that up there to start the sequence. You knew, hey, we were watching yesterday. We saw what you did.
And you have to practice that a little bit. Hey, we're going to be careful with this hitter. We're going to unintentionally, intentionally walk her. We're going to make her get herself out. We're going to stretch. You have to practice those things because it does change your rhythm, your timing.
Lana Rivera, the shortstop for the Bulls, is up. And the challenge is heard. St. Pete native takes a strike.
South Florida typically in this situation would go to the sacrifice bunt. They're third in the country in terms of successful execution of sacrifice bunts, something they've been doing all season long. Of course, Florida State anticipating that. Beecham is in tight at third base. And that walk for Florida State, that was just the 79th walk of the entire season. Second lowest total in the entire country, so it shows you how rare that walk was of Foreman. But also understandable based on her performance yesterday.
This pitch just missed a little low, so it's 2 balls and a strike. OU rain.
Feel like this year, more than any year in those past 4 years, specifically the last 2 years, I would say it's up for grabs. We've had so many teams in the #1 spot in the polls. You take a look at the RPI. There, I think this is going to be a really fun championship because there's no doubt there's not one team that really stands out and is the true favorite over anyone else.
Staying cool in Tallahassee. Christina Hartley batting here. 2 balls and a strike. Christina hitting right at the 300 mark on the season. Off-speed pitch is a strike call.
Boy, Long is just not giving in. She really only had 2 pitches we've seen, the one that hit Beecham and the home run ball, but other than that, she has been living on the black edges of the plate. The plate's 17 inches wide across, and she's getting those strike calls on, 16 and a half to the 17th inch of the plate, and that's what you want from your pitchers. Command the corners. Been very impressed.
Hartley jammed, fouls it back and out of play. The 3rd inning for Florida State yesterday against Robert Morris was the inning that really blew things open, scoring 5 runs en route to a 10-1 run rule victory. Hartley gets into one to left center, but it's fading and coming in. The sliding grab by Alex Wilkes. Off the bat, it gave the impression it might carry farther than that, but it just kind of faded in the outfield. Wilkes had to somewhat leave her feet to come up with it.
Yeah, this outfield for South Florida really does cover a lot of ground. Impressed with their speed out there.
Get back to the top of the order, and Isa Torres grounded out to shortstop first time up.
Torres is just such a tough out. #1 in the country in terms of number of hits. And the reason why, she's a triple threat. She can hit it over the fence, she can hit the extra base hit, and she can drop the short game. See South Florida really making that adjustment on the short game, playing halfway up the line, the corners. And so that really opens up a lot of gaps in the infield for Isa Torres. And now with 2 strikes, that infield can take a few steps back, play their normal positions.
Saw that quick note out of the bug off the top left-hand corner of your screen. Just 4 strikeouts and over 200 at bats for Torres. Puts it in play to third. Diving stop to her feet. Throw to first. Safe. Brooks did everything she could at third base. With Torres flying down the line. She has an infield hit.
And
Kerr up there hacking at the first pitch. Janai worked the walk in her first plate appearance today. First team all conference in the ACC for a 2nd straight year. Hit that towards center, and it's going to drop in. Torres on that, read it so well. Goes first to third on a little bloop hit to shallow center for Kerr.
just vintage Florida State.
That play will now be under review.
So he's going to use one of his 2 challenges right here. You know, last year this kind of became a weapon for the defensive teams. There's been some restrictions added onto that this year to kind of limit that. But in this instance, I think Ken Eric, the call on the field, basically there was no call made, which means that they didn't think the runner left early. So this has gone to the perfectly, almost too perfectly. Maybe it was just, you know, 100th of a second. I don't know, whatever fraction of a second it was.
Oh, you can't do it any better than that. That's exactly what you want. You want to be right on time. Give yourself, and I understand why South Florida made that challenge. That could have prevented, it would have been a momentum shift, but instead Florida State maintains that momentum.
Yeah, if they're successful there, Torres is out. You got a much different looking inning. Instead, first and third, 1 out. Katie Dack at the plate. Hit into a 4-6-3 double play that was very well turned by the USF defense in the first inning. Two balls and no strikes. Good low, 3-0.
Dack showing very good discipline. Felt like last night she swung at a few pitches uncharacteristically out of the zone, kind of got herself out a little bit, showing great patience here with a runner at third base. Not swinging at pitches not in the zone.
That's a 4-pitch walk, so second walk of the game handed out by Ann Long, and it loads the bases. Catcher Foreman wants time to go out, and the rest of the infielders will join the battery in the circle. Ken Erickson's going to come out as well.
Well, this is a big moment in the ball game, Mark. We talk about it all the time. The biggest moment in the game could come in the first inning, second inning. It doesn't always have to come in the 7th inning. And it has that feel with bases loaded, the heart of the lineup up for Florida State. But remember, you've got a ground ball pitcher in the circle, and that's what South Florida's looking for here. And that meeting in the circle tells me a lot what they said, because the middle infielders are staying back. They are thinking double play. South Florida 6th in the country in turning double plays. That's what they're looking to do.
First pitch, bloop into center, base hit, force out at second. Both middle infielders weren't on the bag, so a little bloop hit for Edenfield, chases in a run, bringing in Torres to make it 3-0. So Edenfield aggressive, didn't get a lot of it, but enough to get it out of the inside. Throw is going to go to first base. I thought for a moment perhaps Brooks would go home for the force out, but she never really gave a look there. She went straight to first base, and it brings in another run with Kerr.
the ball is and gets the out at first base.
Now you got Jason, he's swinging at the first pitch. All of a sudden, last few hitters have gotten really aggressive here. Beecham takes low. Jason hit by a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, bases empty in the second, and then the very next pitch was hit out by Ross. A 2-run homer. 2 more in scoring position here with 2 away and a 1-1 pitch.
That off-speed pitch has really fooled Beecham today. She struck out on it her first at bat looking. I wouldn't be surprised to see another one here from Long with back-to-back.
Indeed. Didn't miss by much.
Would have had her had it been up a little bit in the zone. Will we see 3?
The answer to that question is no. But Beecham was behind that because I think she'd seen 2 off-speed pitches in a row.
Well, now, you know, Long really has Beecham right where she wants her. A busy mind. You know, you're not just trusting your swing and reacting. It's what's coming next. So Beecham's going to have to keep working here, get a good result.
Goes back in. Throw's going to go across the diamond from Brooks to Ortiz Martinez. But the Noles tack on 2 more. And at the midpoint of the third, FSU leads 4-0. 4-0 Noles, bottom of the third. USF, the home team in this game. 8, 9, and 1 hitters, and Dania Brooks a wave and a miss for strike 1.
Dania Brooks also can use the bunt for hit to get on base, and that could be something that really ignites this offense.
Third base, and Beecham was out her counterpart. Stanley doing what she does so well, and that's get the ball put on the ground.
And she can be so frustrating to hit against because you know where the ball is coming more times than not, but she is so crafty and mixing up her sequences of throwing the velo pitch, off-speed pitch, hitting both corners. And then goes upstairs a little bit as she did with that pitch, just to give you a different look, just to plant a little doubt in your mind that I can go upstairs as well.
Two balls, no strikes to Kathy Garcia Soto, second baseman for USF, who hit her first homer of the year yesterday. And it kind of got lost a little bit, but it was a huge hit at the time. In extra innings, it gave USF the lead, but then Black hit a game-tying homer with 2 outs in the bottom of the inning. Field side. By the way, the Florida State baseball team's playing game 3 of their series with North Carolina next door. It's going to start in a few minutes. Part of that is a flyover during the national anthem, and that's going to take place here in about a minute. So you're going to hear a very loud noise, and that's going to be the flyover. In fact, here they come. That's hit foul. Or maybe it wasn't as loud as I led on to. The gentleman who's part of that flyover on the ground at the stadium, baseball stadium next door, came over and said hello before the game today. towards third base. Beecham again. A couple of balls to Jasony, turned into 2 outs.
I mean, Beecham just has to have a big smile on her face when she sees that Ashton Danley is in the circle, because she gets a lot of assists over there. Danley really trusting that left side of the infield with Beecham. Made every play so far today.
Back to the top of the order. So the first time through for Danley, no hits allowed, 1 walk, a hit batter, and 5 ground ball outs. 3 of those went to third base and Beecham. Olivia Elliott grounded out to shortstop her first time.
So right away, if you're South Florida, you're thinking, all right, tired of these ground ball outs. You know what are we going to do here? Well, one is move up in the box, and we see Elliott do that. Try to get the ball a little more before it breaks. First time through, they were a little deeper in the box. And when you start deeper in the box against a down ball pitcher, you're hoping she's got to bring it up a little bit to get that strike call. So you might get a pitch a little more elevated. Well, that wasn't too successful the first time through for South Florida. So now there you can get a look there with Elliott. She's more up in the front of the box, trying to catch the ball a little bit before it breaks.
At the high outside edge there on 3-0. Upstairs for ball 4, and Elliott is the second free pass, second walk handed out by Ashton Danley. 2-out base runner.
Now batting number 4, Alexa Galligani.
Old center fielder Alexa Galligani. Check swing strike. Galligani 2 hits yesterday in the extra inning win over Auburn. So far today 0 for 1 with a bouncer right back to Danley. Bouncy ball to second base. Hartley on to Bueno. Well, a walk mixed in with 3 ground ball outs to retire the side. When we come back, we'll visit with the Noles head coach, Lonnie Alameda.